Howdy, all. I'm Adam the Renaissance Nerd. Adaptation. In today's modern entertainment wasteland, we hear the word adaptation, and let's be honest, fans cringe. We go, no, stay away from things I love. What we're going to talk about today is not necessarily an adaptation of something anybody really cares about. We're going to talk about what it means to adapt something, what it means to try and maybe endear yourself to a fan base. Recently, we've heard a lot of news about a Netflix original movie produced by the Obamas. That's right. Remember Obama and Big Mike? They had their own little production company, made a big deal with Netflix, get a payday so they could talk about racism, identity politics. Well, one of their first movies has really come out. It's called Leave the World Behind. Now, we're not going to talk about that. I'm not going to engage in all this stuff, and it's blatant racism. It's real racism that they're putting in there. What I want to talk about today is this little tidbit that dropped. Leave the World Behind director changing the book and says every adaptation should do it. This is what's wrong with Western entertainment. If you're going to adapt something, remember who your core audience is. Let's see what Sam Esmail has to say, shall we? One of the things I want to say, you guys talk about Killers of the Flower Moon and how different it was from the book. I'm not a fan of people necessarily adapting something from another medium in this 1-to-1 ratio. It shouldn't work. It's so great in the medium for a reason. And when you think about it in terms of, especially if you go into a cinematic medium, you have to recontextualize it. You have to figure out a different way to mine the same character, the interior lives of these characters, or the visual language of the book. You have to find a way to reconstruct it. If you do this 1-to-1 thing, I think 9 times out of 10, you're gonna fail. So I was very upfront with Rumnon Alam about that. So I called him before I called Julia Roberts, of course. I called him and I said, here are the ideas. And it was basically the things I started picturing in my head the second time I write it were all those set pieces. As I said, this is what's wrong with Western entertainment. You've got no talent hacks like this guy who can't actually create anything. They have to work with something else somebody has created that has perhaps become beloved or at least well received by an audience. So what do? Instead of making something that will appeal to the core audience, the people you need on board the most. Oh, F it. I'm going to rewrite this whole thing because 1-to-1 cannot work. Now, I always say 1-to-1 is impossible. You can't get a 1-to-1 because sometimes something that happens in a book can't translate cleanly to a screen. I get that. But that's why I always say, get as close to 1-to-1 as possible. Let's walk down the memory lane of the past couple of years, shall we? What is the most successful near 1-to-1 presentation we've had? It's called One Piece. Netflix, same company that did this thing, worked with the creator, Ichiro Oda, or as I respectfully call him, Oda Sensei. Oda Sensei said, listen, we're going to do this. We're going to do it my way. And I'm going to make sure you don't ruin the core of my story. So what did we get? Did we get a perfect 1-to-1 adaptation of the One Piece manga, One Piece anime? No, we didn't. I have given my responses, my criticisms, my thoughts on One Piece live action. Wasn't perfect, but it wasn't made for me. I get that. We've talked about it. You can go see my comments in previous streams and videos. What we have here, though, is it still respected the lore, respected the core. It didn't change the core elements. The things that were adapted to streamline the show, streamline the content of the source material. It remained One Piece, though. It was a very close adaptation to the actual material, which is why it was a success. Not only was it received well by most One Piece fans, those people like me who read the manga, watch the anime, it was beloved by the regular folk, the non-anime fans, the non-manga readers, because it was accessible and because we, the actual fans, say, it's okay. Go look at it, because they will say, what do you think as a fan? And we will go, it's okay. You can go enjoy it and then go watch the real thing. Read the real thing. That was success. But let's look at the opposite end. What wasn't a success? Wheel of Time on Amazon. Something that was not remotely adapted from the source material. Purposefully picked apart, chopped up, and stitched together as a Frankenstein monster to push out to the world. How did that do? Massive failure. And that is what this genius proposes. Take things that people love, break it apart, and give my vision of what it should be. Because now I'm in control and I have an idea in my uncreative brain. If you're going to adapt something, what's the moral of the story? If you're going to adapt something, adapt it to please the original audience first. Because when you please the core audience it was made for in first place, you're going to get the biggest cheerleading section in the world. They're going to grab that banner. They're going to go all across social media. They're going to tell their friends in real life. They're going to say, dude, this was really good. It was really good. Watch it and then go check out the original content, the original source material. Go look at that. You're going to get great coverage, great conversation. It's going to be nothing but positive. But when you say, I do not care about the original source material, you automatically know what you're probably going to get is going to be garbage. Because it's going to lose its soul. It's going to lose what made it great. It was successful for a reason. For this kind of jerk to say, it can't work. A one-to-one can never work because it has to be recontextualized for the medium it's on. That means you don't even care about what you're working with. You don't care about anything. And again, we're not talking about Leave the World Behind. It's got its own racial crap problems tied into it, propaganda bullshit. We're talking about adaptation in general. This is merely the vehicle through which I want to get my point across today. Leave the source material alone. Do not change it because you think you can do a better job or you think it's not going to work unless I change it. We're not making it for this reason. We're not doing it for that. No, you make it for the fans, and that's why things work when they work. You make it for the fans first. You don't make it for yourself. This guy is making shit for himself, and so is everybody else that decides to adapt something in their vision. They're making it for themselves. They're not making it for fans. When you make it for fans, when you make it for the lifeblood of anything, the passionate person who devotes their time and money to a project, to an idea, to an IP, when you make it for them, it'll be successful. And when you make it for nobody, when you just make it to please your own narcissistic ego, you're never going to create anything that stands the test of time. Because that's what true works of art do, that people love. They stand the test of time. They're timeless. Adaptation. When you make an adaptation, you should think of the fan first. Not yourself, not the medium, the fan first. All right, I'm done. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, a like would be very much appreciated. If you are new here, I invite you to subscribe to me right here on YouTube, or to earn your trust and support using facts and logic, because facts and logic do not care about whiny stand fake fan and SJW fifis. Hit the notification button for my videos if you like what I am preaching, and by all means, leave a comment. Love to hear from the true passionate fan like you. I care what you think. I do not care what the fake fan stands and SJWs have to say, because 201, they're all cowards behind keyboards, and they don't really care about anything. They just show up to virtue signal. Thank you again for watching. Take it easy. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to reach out to me, please email me at theranernerd@gmail.com for all channel business purposes. I am on Twitter now, mostly for promotion and sharing of videos, maybe a little shit stirring here and there, who knows, @TheRenNerd. You can also find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can see me on Rumble and Odyssey under the Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.